Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Khan and I usually talk about citizenship by investment programs, residency by investment programs and second home visas. Today I am going to talk about the D7 visa of Portugal and how I got the D7 visa, what is the process, the requirements, the processing time, and very importantly there is a lot of misinformation about this visa. In the requirements. You will get confused when you go to internet and find on different pages about different requirements, and also if you go to Facebook groups and you see conflicting information provided by different people, lawyers, consultants and so many other people. Right now I'm sitting in Portugal and I have already obtained the D7 visa, so I'm going to share the exact steps and the requirements with you in what I personally provided for this visa and what was the cost of this visa and everything. So first thing is first, what is a D7 visa? Because Portugal has many visas in the D7 category, right? It is not a Schengen visa. The Schengen visa allows you to visit the Schengen area for tourism purpose, to meet your friends and family. But the D7 visa and D8 visa and D2 visas, these visas are to live in Portugal, to get residency rights, right? So D7 in particular is about passive income. Like if you are actually living on your own income, like the income that you are receiving from assets, for example, you have real estate, you give that on rent and you are receiving the rent, right? And you have like fixed deposit, you are getting interest, or if you are retired and you are getting a pension. So these are some types of incomes which is considered passive in nature. If you have that kind of income, then you might be eligible for the D7 visa because you have to still meet the threshold for that income. Like the minimum income, passive income for D7 visa is 870 euros a month right now. We are talking about July 2025. Right now this is the minimum requirement for a single person. If you are a single person applying for D7 visa, you should have 870 euros coming to your bank account from passive sources. If you want to include your family, like your spouse and your children, you have to increase this limit, like 50% for your spouse and 30% for your children, right, for dependents. But this is the minimum. It should be higher, but you should also have savings in your bank account for like at least 2 years to meet your expenses in Portugal, right? For example, you should have 20,000 euros saving in your account when you are applying. Like you should be receiving monthly income, you should show some proof, and also you should have saving, because initially when you go to Portugal with this visa you will get a 2 years residency in Portugal. So you should show, ideally you should show 2 years saving in your bank account. So this is the basic requirements to be eligible for this visa. Now you are ready, you have a passive income and you are ready to apply for this visa. What is the process? The process is simply to get an appointment from the embassy. In some countries, the VFS Global will give you an appointment to apply for this visa. You will go to apply to submit your documents to the VFS, like in the USA, VFS is dealing this thing, right? In some countries, the embassy is directly dealing with the applications. Like for example, I applied in Turkey. In Turkey, the embassy directly actually processed the application. So you have to find out on Google who is processing the application in your country. You just do a Google search and you will find out that. Once you find, then you contact the VFS or the embassy for the appointment for this visa. For example, I contacted the embassy for an appointment and they give me an appointment after 1 month. Somewhere you will get an appointment after 1 week, somewhere you will get after 2 months, after 3 months, after 1 month, depending on the workload of that embassy or VFS office. Now once you get the appointment, this is the first step and the first thing. After that you have to collect the documents, prepare the documents, the required documents for this visa. So you should not make a mistake there to avoid wasting time and money. But the main thing is you will get a lot of confusing information on the internet. And also if you join the Facebook groups, or if you contact some lawyers and consultants in Portugal, they will give you like very confusing information and conflicting information, which is not true, and you will lose a lot of money and you waste a lot of your time. From my own experience, I will tell you that hiring a lawyer is not a good thing, and hiring a consultant will be a wasting of money, right? And there are many required documents which are not actually required, and there is one document which everybody will show you that this is required. Everybody will tell you this is required, but in fact that is not required. What is that document? That document is the NIF number, I mean the tax number in Portugal. The tax number is not required at all for D7 visa. I mean like the D7 visa, which is a 4 months visa, 120 days visa that you get from the embassy. I'm not talking about the second step for this visa. The second step is when you have appointment with the IMA, the agency in Portugal, where you will go for your residency appointment. You will give biometrics and you will then submit the actual documents for residency. That is a second part. The first part is to get the visa from the embassy. I will later tell you about IMA requirements. IMA has a different requirements and different documents, but you don't need those documents for the visa. So because for the visa you don't know whether it will be approved or rejected, that's why you don't need to waste a lot of money. People are wasting a lot of money on the visa application. For the visa application, you just need the national D form. The form you have to fill, and you have to mention all the details on the visa form that you can get from the embassy website or the VFS website. Second thing, you need your passport should be valid for at least 1 year, and also you need pictures, photographs, right? And you need police clearance certificate from your country of origin, or if you have lived in multiple countries, you need to get a police clearance or character certificate, and that should be apostille. If your country is not part of the apostille convention, then you should attest that from your country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other departments, right? So that is a very important thing. Then you have to provide authorization for criminal record. That is a simple paper you will find on the internet, and you just need to sign that and write your name in your passport. That is for the Portuguese police. You are authorizing them that they can check about you in Portugal, right? So this is a document you must provide, and then you need to provide the bank statement. The bank statement in your country, from your country, not from Portugal. Now people always tell you that you need a NIF number, you need a Portuguese bank account to submit money in that account. You don't need that, guys. This is just like people say you have to open an account in Portugal, which is almost impossible these days without a residence card. I have personally, even with the visa, I tried a lot of banks, but they are not opening the account, right? You will waste a lot of time by trying to open a bank account in Portugal. So you don't need that bank account. You can provide your country's bank account, and you don't need a NIF number, a tax number. A tax number is required to open a bank account, right? Not for the visa actually. So once you have a visa, once you come to Portugal, then you can open an account. Then you need an account. Then you need a tax number. And why you need a tax number? Because for everything you need a tax number in Portugal, not outside the Portugal, right? So once you get the visa, you come to Portugal, you get the NIF number, you can get it yourself, because online people will ask you 100 euros or 150 euros for getting that NIF number. I also got that number, but the embassy said we don't need this for the visa. So this is why I am telling you this is important. That number you need for doing anything in Portugal, even for opening a bank account. So you need that when you come to Portugal. You will get the NIF number yourself free of cost. You don't need to spend any money on that, right? You can provide your own bank account with the transaction of the passive income in the saving as well from your own country. And then you need a proof for housing in Portugal. That is important. You need to have like some contract in Portugal for the initial 4 months, not for 1 year. People will say like, oh, 1 year, you need 1 year contract. You don't need 1 year contract. You just need, guys, you just need 4 months. contract or 4 months booking. Like you can get that booking from booking.com, from Airbnb, or simply from agoda.com. I used agoda.com's booking for my whole family, and that was accepted. It was just for 4 months. And similarly, you need health insurance also for 4 months, not for 1 year. I'm talking about the visa. For visa, you need 4 months housing, like accommodation, and 4 months health insurance. And I also provided for 4 months, not for 1 year. And I got the visa. Normally the visa takes like 2 months. Somewhere it can take more time, but in my case it was just 7 to 8 days. In 7 to 8 days I got the visa. I applied in Turkey, so it was very easy process in Turkey. The best way to know what exact documents you need to submit, you need to email the embassy. Just email the embassy and ask them, I'm going to apply for a D7 visa, like maybe single applicant or maybe with your family, your spouse and children. You just mention all the details and they will reply you and list all the exact documents you need to submit for the D7 visa. You don't need to go to the groups and to consultants and to lawyers and ask them what is needed. They will give you extra documents. They will ask you to provide extra documents. And those extra documents you have to get from Portugal, and that will cost you money and time, and that is actually not needed for the visa. And this is my personal experience and experience of many people. In order to not confuse yourself, just ask the embassy, and when they give you the information in the list of documents, you just prepare those documents and go to your appointment, submit it, and then wait for the result, and you will get the visa most probably if you can demonstrate that you have passive income, right, and you have savings. And that is exactly what I did for the D7 visa, and I got it within 7 to 8 days. And after you have the visa, you will have an appointment with the IMA for getting the actual residency card in Portugal. That will be for 2 years initially, and then after 2 years you can renew it for another 3 years. And after 5 years you can apply for permanent residency, and after 10 years you can apply for citizenship, because just 2 days back they changed the nationality law, and now the duration will be like residency requirement is now 10 years, not 5 years. Before it was 5 years. That's why Portugal was an attractive option for immigrants, right? But overall, after you have the D7 visa, you can go to your appointment in Portugal at the IMA office, and then you will provide bank statement in Portugal. You have to open a bank account in Portugal and deposit some money. You can provide that, and you have to buy a 1 year health insurance here locally in Portugal. That is for IMA appointment, not for the visa. For the visa you can provide any international 4 months health insurance. I bought like a 4 months insurance for just 30 to 40 US dollars. That was I bought in Turkey and not in Portugal, right? For the IMA you need a 1 year health insurance. You need a local bank account, and you need a 1 year rental contract that should be also registered with the finances department. And also you need a NIF number, right? But that is actually for the IMA appointment, not for the visa, right? So I hope I have given you all the valid points for the D7 visa, and I personally got it, and I will share my IMA appointment experience as well, because that is after 1 month. Sometimes you will get your IMA appointment after 1 month, sometimes after 2 months, because it's very crowded these days, right? So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please put down that in the comments, and I will see you with another video very soon.